Just a few days ago, IGN France was getting absolutely wrecked by gamers for saying Stellar Blade's Eve was just a sexualized doll for people who act like they've never seen a woman before, and they even added context about people who were criticizing what they were saying, but now they've officially released an apology. But funny enough, the editor-in-chief has actually been melting down over this game still. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. Now, just a few days ago, like I said, IGN France was getting roasted for this statement. The design of the game, especially its characters, highlights an obvious bias. We're going to smash aliens, but if we can do it in a way that pleases these gentlemen, that's a bonus. And the result is not exactly a success. It's nothing new, and other games have chosen to highlight the strengths of their female characters, but where a Bayonetta imposes itself with an iconic character design, or a 2B from Nier inspires an entire generation of female cosplayers, Eve from Stellar Blade is just bland, a doll sexualized by someone you'd think that's never seen a woman, which was completely ridiculous. I did do another video on this, but we don't know if Eve is going to, inspire an entire generation of female cosplayers. I honestly think that she will, because she's going to have like 30 outfits in the game. They all so far look absolutely fantastic, and I do think we are going to see a lot of cosplays. We've already seen a lot of fan art, but they have iconic designs in this game. Taki's design is iconic, Eve's design's iconic, even Adam's looks stunning, so they completely missed the mark with this article. Not that I'm particularly surprised, okay? These video game journalists who really are just activists are desperate for clicks, even if they're hate clicks. They believe, in a sense, that all press is good press, even negative press, when that definitely is not the case. But they actually had to offer an official apology after the French branch insulted the Stellar Blade director for choosing to create an attractive female protagonist. So they had to straight up apologize because of all of the backlash. Now, it's a pretty simple statement, but they clearly wanted to look like they were taking responsibility. It says on April 3rd, the head of the IGN office would step in to put an end to the situation, retracting the statement. Recently, IGN France produced and published a preview of Stellar Blade containing an offensive passage that should have never been included, and here's our official apology to the staff at Shift Up Corporation, which is pretty funny because clearly the journalists just said what they were thinking. Like, you can't censor what people think. You can only tell them, hey, you have to watch what you say in articles, which they clearly did not do. And clearly the many people who checked over this, like the editor-in-chief, were in agreement with this statement. But it says the original text of the Stellar Blade preview contained statements that were out of place. While it was never our intention to disrespect either Shift Up or any of its employees or their work, we recognize that the sentence taken in its literal sense was out of place and we regret it. Yeah, clearly they wanted to insult the gamers who enjoyed this game, and yes, I do believe that they wanted to disrespect Shift Up and their employees and their work because they dislike their work. There is no other way that you can take this statement besides a direct attack on Shift Up and the gamers who wanted to support this game. Now, funny enough, we actually found out that just a few days ago, the IGN France editor-in-chief had a complete and utter meltdown on Stellar Blade and, all of the discussion surrounding the game, and it came out right before this article, which is mighty suspiciously timed. But it says, he answered, there's no problem. Go tell that to the women who are hit, killed, denigrated, or commit suicide because they cannot live up to fictional standards expected by men. The problem is not the sexy design itself, except that it sucks compared to others, but hey, that doesn't matter. But the percentage of males who will only want this type of fictional body in reality. I do genuinely believe that most men do not want these fictional body proportions because they understand that they're fictional. It's like the argument about violence in video games causing violence in real life. There is no correlation at all whatsoever, and there is no correlation between men seeing a video game character and expecting those body proportions on a real living female. They provide absolutely no studies, no evidence of this. They're just making complete bullshit claims, which of course I don't expect these activist hacks to actually do research and provide any evidence to the claims that they're making. But of course, when they're saying such strong things on social media, they probably should be backing that up with evidence. They continue by saying, obviously, we understand that this does not shock people who think that women are objects who must obey and be beaten. This design makes us sigh and roll our eyes, and we laugh at anyone who needs it, man or woman, but that's it. This entire rant makes me sigh and roll my eyes because in one section, they're talking about real women who are viewed as objects who must be obeyed and beaten, but then they talk about a fictional character design, okay? Real women and fictional women are very different, and when we are talking about Eve, she is a fictional character. Taki is a fictional character. They are literally objects. This is not a new argument by any stretch of the means, okay? It is an old and tired one that we see decade after decade, but these people are continuing to push this narrative, and it is completely absurd. Violence and sex in games does not affect the real world. It's just as simple as that, and these people continue to melt down when individuals prove them wrong, when we provide them with studies after studies, and they just want to ignore them because they have a certain narrative that they, of course, are going to continue to push no matter what. It is a complete confirmation bias, and this is why we cannot trust game activists like this. These people do not care about video games or entertainment or the industry in totality. They care about infiltrating our industry and pushing their personal political agendas into it. It is completely absurd, and it is something that I personally am going to continue to call out on this channel. And it's hilarious to see this, string of events because we had this massive rant only days before the article came out, and now IGN is being forced to offer an official apology because they were facing tons of backlash. I mean, the post had millions and millions of views on it on social media and thousands of people laughing in their faces. It will be interesting to see if this individual comes out and makes any other statements going forward, if anyone else at IGN France or IGN in general decides to attack gamers yet again, but there was no other way to take the statement that was made in the article. It was a clear attack on Shift Up, on gamers, and on Stellar Blade, which of course people are not going to accept. Stellar Blade, so far, the demo went over fantastically. I mean, it went over extremely positive. It is the #1 selling game in many regions, and it is only going up. The hype is only building. We're only a few weeks away from release, and people are extremely excited for this launch, and it is only going to trigger these individuals even more. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.